Hello, fellow Canvas users and Delta faculty members. My name is Aaron Garner. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 types of popovers that we can implement in our pages using Design Plus tools. These are really helpful tools to be able to use, and they're super easy to make. All right, the first one is called a tooltip. And this is for situations when you just have a really short text block, like maybe 1 or 2, and here's like just 3 words here. And when you hover over this text, you just see this little pop-up box. Then the second type is actually called a popover, and this is when you have more text. It's just a larger version of this small tooltip popover. And so when I hover over these, it gives me some information. You can also use those like here if you want to link to an outside page. So here I have a link here, and it takes me to this lecture on intervals. And then the last one is when you have something like this. This is called a modal popover, and these are used for when you want a picture. And you can think of these as just really the largest version of these popovers. And they kind of, they really give you more of a focal point. It really just kind of zeroes in on this big box here. So those are the 3 types of popovers. So let's head on over to the editor, and I'll show you how you create these in Design Plus tools. Okay, now we're in our rich content editor. I opened up that same assignment, except that I removed the pop-up elements in this so we can start from scratch. Okay, if you're not familiar with how to unhide and hide these design tools, then you can watch my video called Revealing the Tools. But for now, if they're not showing, just click 3 keys or press 3 keys simultaneously. The Alt on a PC or Option on a Mac, the Shift key, and the letter D as in dog, and those tools will appear for you. Now we need to go into Preferences here with this little gear icon and make sure that you're on the advanced comfort level, as they call it, and then click out of this window. Now you should see Add Advanced Elements. We're going to click on that panel, open that up, and then towards the bottom you'll see Pop-up Content, and this is where we are going to add our pop-ups. And remember, we've got 3 of them. We've got Tooltip, Popover, and Modal. Let's add a tooltip. Now you hover over this here as where it says Examples, and it gives you a little short description of how you use these. So this is something short, so we're going to pick something short. Let's see, I'm going to pick, I think it was this one, so we're going to just highlight this text here, leading tone, and then I'm going to click on this yellow button that says Tooltip, and then you'll see that I've got this little darkened area here, and it defaults to Tooltip Text, and we're going to highlight that, and I'm going to add my text in. So remember, this is something that's very short. So I'm going to just do what I did last time, 7th scale degree, and that's it. And now our tooltip is done. Let's go ahead and save and see if it works. So when I hover over this leading tone, there's my little tooltip. Okay, we're back in our rich content editor, and we're going to add the second type of popover, and it's actually just called popover. If I hover over this little informational button here, it says it's a little longer with HTML thrown in, can be interactive or just informational. So you could just have a pop-up window that just gives you some information about a term or a concept, or you could even have something like an HTML or like a link to an outside page or even an internal page. So let's go ahead and highlight some text, and we'll add the second type called popover. So I highlight this text, I go over to this button and click on Popover, and what will happen is you'll get a box here, and you can enter in your information there. I'm going to say a lecture on intervals, and I'm going to link to an outside page. And I could have some information here like covers all the basic diatonic intervals. All right, now if I highlight this text right here, I can actually create a link. So I'm going to go up here, and it's going to be an external link. I've already got this copied onto my clipboard, so I'm going to paste that. And that's it, and I'm done now. Let's save it and look at what that, how that functions. So you can see when the student or anyone hovers over this, you get this basic information, and then you can actually click on this link and it will take us to this outside page. And that's a popover. So the difference between a popover and a tooltip really has to do with two things. First of all, the tooltip is meant for very short popovers, just maybe 2-3 words, something like that. And then the popover itself is for longer text and something that's interactive. Let's take a look at the third one called modal popovers. Okay, here we are back in our rich content editor, and we're going to add the last type of popover, and that's called a modal popover. I look at these as just larger overlays, and these would be used for images if you have even more text, and also you could create links in these as well. I just look at them as just a larger version of a popover. So let's go ahead and add one. I'm going to add a picture here, an image, and let's say we'll go this one. So I've got a little graphic that I want to add. So we're going to highlight the text, go over here and click the modal button, and now you'll see this window here, and this is where I will add my information. So I'm going to put if I can spell, 7th, and then right here where it says content, I'm just going to click out of that or delete that, and then I'm going to add an image, upload an image, and let's see, I think this is the one right there. Yep, that's the one. Click on that, add it, and now let's take a look and see what that looks like. Actually, before I do that, this is awfully big, so I'm going to use my shift key, click, and then make this a little bit smaller. How about that? That looks pretty good right there. Maybe just a little bit smaller. And then we'll save it and take a look at how this works. So now for that one, they actually have to click on that because it's a link. It's not a hover like the tool tip or the popover. So they click on this, and now you'll see this big window there. And I can of course add text, and I could add some links and any other kind of interactive HTML that's available for you. So that is what a popover is, or the 3 types of popovers. They're really useful. In my opinion, I don't think you want to overuse them. I think there's the danger of using too many of these, but they're a really valuable tool that Design Tools allows us to implement into our courses. All right, so I hope this was helpful. We'll see you in the next one.